Setting the show in the Lake District was a key decision. It is the canvas upon which our story plays out. It serves as an incredibly dramatic and beautiful backdrop to a family drama.
I knew when I wanted to write this that I wanted it to be in a place that was both remote but lived in, if that makes any sense. A place where there was a community but was distant enough for there to be problems to seek help, particularly for Joe, the central child.
They were very generous with the prep on this because we knew the locations were going to be important. So I basically went round, I spent 3 or 4 weeks going to every single village in the Lake District. I had a map in front of me and a marker pen, and I just went through them all and photographed them. Then we went on a sort of pre-recce with execs and producer with Marcus, and we looked around the ones we thought could be possibilities, narrowed it down to 3 or 4, and then went out again with more people and the director Peter, and sort of picked out what made our village life in our story from 2 or 3 separate ones.
From just purely from an aesthetic point of view, it's both beautiful and it carries a threat. But also, I think the lakes, as beautiful and stunning as it is, always remains a kind of working place. You get a sense of industry, you get a sense of people going about their business in a way that's not at all picture book, I guess. So that was important too.
The first process was to go to the lakes and look at the locations that we had to find. The most important one was the Hughes and Scott's house. The script was very specific about how they lived next door to each other. So it was trying to find a location which worked geographically for the story, but also gave us a real sense of the lakes. We were lucky enough to find the house that we did, which was in an incredible location. Although it was a fantastic house, the architecture was a collection of small rooms, and that didn't really work for us filming. Although we took the footprint of the actual house, it was great to be able to open it up for filming. So we made a decision to build the interiors here in the space project in Manchester. Let's take a look at the Hughes house. This is the dining room. The living room and the study opened up to make it easy to film. This is the hallway, and this is the kitchen, the heart of the Hughes' house. There's a lot of scenes that take place in the kitchen, so we tried to make it a reasonable size, but not too big. We really wanted to have a sense of it being a proper family house. In reality, only this part that is the main Hughes' house that we filmed in. We basically took all the walls out to make it very easy to film and to give the space some depth. And we made sure that we could see literally from one end of the set to the other.
One of the reasons why it appealed to me is that the locations are really important to this. Peter, the director, wanted it to be all kind of quite sort of foreboding and, you know, big hills and more that than rambling green fields. So we can see the jeopardy in what might happen there from the beginning. So that's what we were looking for, really.
It's been a really lovely job to work on. They're fantastic scripts, an amazing environment to work in the Lake District, but also a real challenge to bring a sense of that into the studios. And also, the gastropub, probably the most challenging part of the show for me, because we started with basically a cowshed, and during the process of 4 months, we've had to convert it with all the various stages of building, which Peter's written, to bring it to life in a pretty challenging and muddy environment. I think we've had about 3 storms during the course of the shoot, which have caused it to be just that little bit harder.
Even though it's been hard work, I think that makes people push a little bit harder if you think that you're making something worthwhile and something good.
The Lake District has been a fantastic place to shoot. We couldn't have asked for more support from the people whose locations we filmed in. The Lake District has been a great home for the A Word and has given us a huge amount of production value and visual splendour.